1 minute warning!
To the goofball army out there, hi at the families, tell them to get to the next room, tell them to go to your neighbors, because we got goofball news to go over, and it might get crazy.
Typically does, guys. If it's your first episode ever, you got like 30 seconds before we start, so not enough time to go to the bathroom, but go get a drink, because trust me, you're probably going to need it there. In the meantime, the rest, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. That way you know about future episodes as well, guys. Buckle your seatbelts if you haven't already. Make sure your tray is in the upright position here, guys, because we are just about ready to get going. And like, oof.
Guys, if you want a crazy ride going forward, a bunch of nonsense, but all nothing but the truth about the Giants, listen in, buckle in, tell a friend.
Let's go.
And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs in Your Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm me, Rob, and happy hump day.
Hey guys, we got a lot to go over here today. We were trying to actually get together for a special edition yesterday with all the news that broke, but I'm kind of glad we did. But we'll get into that in a minute there, because Giants fans, this one here, it's not just a coordinator hire. This is John Harbaugh literally putting his fingerprints all over the offense. Matt Nagy is officially here now in New York. Play calling history or lack of baggage, and all paired up with a major front office move that could quietly shape the future of this franchise. So tonight, we're going to break down why Nagy was chosen, what his offense actually looks like, and whether Dawn Aponte's hire is protection, preparation, or power consolidation. So
Preparation H.
That's a totally different thing. So.
Oh, sorry.
By the way, we're just going to go ahead and block the guy who's talking about Richard Murphy for some reason. I don't know what the heck's going on with that guy. That guy's still stalking this page. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Now he's sending people in, and we're just going to ban them. That's just that simple.
Yeah. Bye.
You know, he goes on other podcasts and talks about us that we get brought up to. Like, it's insanity. Oh my gosh. Listen, we are no one to obsess.
We're the ones that got away.
Let me be the first to assure somebody we are not the people to be obsessed with.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and let's break into the news here, because we got a lot to unravel here with the Giants. All right, so first off, again, the big news. Matt Nagy officially hired as the offensive coordinator of the New York Giants. And it's funny because we're on Monday night and we're giving you guys all the information as we have it, with everything going on with the Giants and their OC coordinator hire here. And everything was like, oh, well, they've talked to people on Zoom. They're going to go ahead and get some more interviews going, and they're going to get people in later this week, and they'll do in-person interviews. 24 hours later, hired.
No.
First off, before we get to the Matt Nagy thing, I got to say this. I freaking love that. I love the fact that nobody knows what the hell the Giants are doing. Like, call me crazy, but that's freaking awesome. How many times have we as Giants fans dealt with it where everything is known? And, you know, we heard about how supposedly, like, they're getting all the talking people that are talking to the media out of the Giants building. And here's one of the
like it.
Yeah, like, this is a big out of nowhere hire. Like, we knew that he was there was a talk of sorts. We knew Andy Reid had personally called John Harbaugh and said, you should hire Matt Nagy. Like, we know that happened. We didn't know they even interviewed him. Like, I find it hard to believe they actually didn't interview him. Like, they had to have brought him in, not just had a Zoom, but brought him in for a meeting. They had to have sat him down with Jackson Dart. Like, this was all part of the process they were talking about doing. And no one knew.
Yeah. It's a very interesting point to bring up there because it's pretty much everything that in the Giants news the past 5-10 years has just been front page in whatever press that goes around in the tri-state area,
front and center. So, yeah, like I said, all good stuff there. So let's get into the actual hire itself, though. So first off, Matt Nagy, for those who are unaware, Jersey boy. He is from Jersey, so that's a nice little interesting kind of coming back home there, because not only is he a Jersey boy, but he played in New York when he played in the Arena Football League. It was kind of a little bit of a homecoming here. He's a Jersey boy. I guarantee you he calls it pork roll, not Taylor ham.
He better.
He better not. So, now, I heard a lot of people, and I got to admit, myself included at first, going, what the hell? Like the Chiefs didn't want to bring him back. And like I said, we tell you guys all the time, we're Giants content creators. We're not the guys who sit there and say that we're the next Adam Schefter's got a team of people telling us every single thing going on with every single team. So, dug into it. Nagy left the Chiefs. The Chiefs didn't leave Nagy. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying the same thing, like, why are we getting this guy who, point blank, the Chiefs wanted nothing to do with? The Chiefs were like, okay, we're going to go ahead and hire Eric Bieniemy to be the OC again. And for some reason, that's the way it's kind of being portrayed out there. But that's not what happened. Nagy wants to be a head coach again. Let's be very clear about that. This OC job, while I'm sure he's happy to have it, that's not what he wanted. He wants to be a head coach again in the league. And we'll get to his head coaching history with the Bears here shortly. But he knows that staying with Andy Reid is not going to help him become a head coach somewhere. Because here's the problem you run into. Andy Reid is an offensive coach. Andy Reid calls the plays. Andy Reid is somebody he's been with for literally, minus the few years he was a head coach for the Bears. He's been under Andy Reid for every single freaking NFL job he's had. So
yeah, and he's also currently, you bring up a good point, he's behind Andy Reid, offensive coach, calling the plays. But us is there is Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, you're over there in Kansas City. How much do you actually shine?
Yeah, we don't know. We had the same question when we hired, ironically enough, our previous offensive coordinator in Mike Kafka, who was the quarterback's coach for the Chiefs as well. So we're going right back to that Chiefs tree.
Exactly. And I also have to address AC in the comments. And what you said before, he's from Middlesex County. He probably calls it pork roll. That son of a gun.
I hope he does.
He probably calls it Taylor.
No, listen, not everybody in there uses the wrong name. Just saying. We'll find out. Maybe somebody will have the balls to ask him this question during an introductory press conference. Just saying. Anybody out there, Giants reporters, ask them the question, is it pork roll or Taylor ham? It's a very important thing. If he's smart, he'll avoid answering entirely and play the political game.
Yeah.
But anyway, so again, we just got to make it clear. The Chiefs wanted him back. He wanted to go elsewhere. He was interviewing, and he was one of the final candidates, they were saying at one point, for the Titans job. They thought there's a lot of people within Kansas City thought he would get it. But he didn't even attempt to negotiate a contract with the Chiefs again. He did not want to go back to Kansas City because he knew, while he respected Andy Reid, respect to the Chiefs, like there's no bad blood here whatsoever, he knew that working under Andy Reid for so long was limiting his opportunities to be a head coach. And that's the truth of the matter. Let's be honest. Most people aren't like Matt Nagy for head coach. And listen, we talked about it, and we talked about potential candidates for head coach before we knew John Harbaugh was going to be an option, obviously. And Nagy wasn't necessarily a bad candidate. But again, we'll go into the Bear stuff here in a little bit here. Now, obviously, one of the big questions is, how is he as far as, a play caller, and what kind of experience does he have? And quite frankly, he hasn't done much as far as play calling. He did it for a little while when he was the Bears head coach, and that's it. So what to expect on the offense, because that's the big thing here. Besides who Matt Nagy is as a coach, besides the history of him as an offensive guy, what to expect offense-wise. And we can go look at what he did with Chicago. And first off, the very first year he went there, top 10 offense in the NFL with Mitchell Trubisky as a quarterback. Let that sink in for a second. Top 10 offense in the NFL with Mitch freaking Trubisky.
And there's a lot of turnovers that year as well.
Yes. Let's be very clear that Mitch Trubisky is best known as the guy who sounds like a cracker you'd put in a soup. I don't know why. Trubisky just sounds like a cracker you put in a soup to me. It always has. That's what he is. He was literally a Pro Bowler that year with Matt Nagy. So, but here's the offense expecting based on what you see from what he did in Chicago. He's going to run potentially a heavy RPO. Replay option was a big thing in Chicago. In fact, it's funny, you already banned this guy, new guy, huh?
Yeah.
And we're getting stalked still by this guy. It's insanity. And it's funny because he said he was a friend of his. Now he says, can't get rid of me in capital letters. It's clearly the same guy.
Yeah.
But again, expect a heavy RPO. He really ran it the second most of the NFL his first year there when he had Trubisky. Almost 20% of the play calls were RPO. It's going to be a West Coast style. It's going to be quick, short passes. And listen, I guess I like that. I really do, because when it boils down to it, we said this before, Jackson Dart hasn't necessarily developed a deep pass yet. That's the one issue we've had with him throwing wise. But you look at what's going on now with the offense of the Giants and what they're built for. They're built for shorter passes. They have been, because that was Dable's system. So now you bring in a guy who plays into shorter passes. You bring in a guy who's known for, RPO and mobile quarterbacks. It does fit.
It does.
It really does fit. So, I like that.
I mean, you and I both, when we first saw that come through yesterday, we're like, what the actual muff? And I let it sink in, because it was early in the day. We were talking about, it was during work, and it was like, let it sink in. And like you said, RPOs, like just dump passes, West Coast offense, kind of fits the scheme of what Jackson Dart has going on. Look at Cam Scadaboo, kind of fits.
Cam Scadaboo, I'm telling you guys right now, Cam Scadaboo is going to be a goddamn beast in this offense, because one of the knocks is he was criticized often in Chicago, to go ahead and, not run the ball enough. Basically, he was abandoning the run. So what happens is then all of a sudden you go ahead and you get a guy who's good at throwing the ball, though, to the running back. And the running backs, I'm telling you right now, we have guys who can catch the ball.
Yeah.
And, it's crazy. Look at, I got to read this one. Comment. Guy goes, not you guys too. The man can coach. John Harbaugh vetted him and thought enough of him to hire him as OC. You guys are brutal with your opinions and assumptions. Would you prefer we hired Kafka?
No.
Dude, first off, listen, open the ears. You popped on here and commented clearly because you don't know what the hell we're even talking about. We're not even talking negative about him right now. We're actually talking positive about him.
Yeah.
I love people just pop into a show and just give negative comments like they think they know what's going on. We haven't said one negative word about Nagy, have we?
All I said is when we first hired him, we said, what the muff.
Yes.
But we took the moment. We took the day.
More, and we're actually liking the hire more. I'm actually glad we didn't shoot yesterday, to be honest with you. Gave me more time to look at him. So, anyway. Like I said, it's going to work well with everything going on. I think with Scat and with Tracy. He says, sorry to just pop in. Okay, you're good. That's right. We're not anti-Nagy, I promise. But like I said, I think Scat's going to do very well. You know what I like about this is if you give the ball to Scat and you go ahead and throw him the ball in the way because first off, great hands. Like people forget sometimes how good his hands are. In college and his first year, you saw it. He's going to take less hits, guys. Look at guys who developed under him, the Tariq Cohens, at that point, who had 750 receiving yards as a running back. I think, if I remember right, 1 year. Like literally, the guy was like insane. I've never seen he's like twice as much receiving yards as rushing yards. That's you don't see that very often. You know what I mean? So, and Jay said, nice someone actually has the ability to say sorry in the chat room. That's rare. Well done, sir. I'll agree with that. That is classy. Yeah. And sorry, you got us on a cranky day because we got the other guy spamming us nonstop. So, but I maybe went overboard as well. But like I said, I think it's a good fit here because of that, because he does incorporate the running backs there. Scatterbo, again, great hands. Tyrone Tracy, weirdly enough, not as good at hands as Scatterbo, it seems like, the way at least what we've seen so far in the first 2 years of his career, but he's a former wide receiver. So obviously he has hands. He can catch the ball. I wonder if he was underutilized in that way. You know what I mean? Like,
I think so, big time.
Yeah. So, I'm curious to see this. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the guy who I think has the potential, if he reaches his potential, to have the biggest boost to his career by this hire. Theo Johnson. This man loves tight ends. It sounded bad. I was
about to say, who doesn't?
He loves utilizing tight ends in the office. How about that? Okay, in the offense. This guy, seriously.
That's how you get yourself fired. We're calling HR.
Again, damn it. But, if you look at Travis Kelce's career, Travis Kelce didn't have a 1,000-yard season until he's 27 years old. His first year with Matt Nagy as the offensive coordinator. I'm telling you, if Theo Johnson can fix those goddamn hands and get his crap in gear, trying to put it a little nicer. Is that better than saying shit? But I just said shit anyway.
Yeah.
Oh. So
you said it again. Just say that you said it.
It happens. Shit happens. So anyways, but it's like
sometimes
if he can get his hands working right and be the kind of tight end, the kind of player we think he can be, I'm telling you, this kid is up for like it wouldn't even surprise me if he had like 800 yards if he can just catch the goddamn ball. That's the big thing. He's got to be able to catch. This kid's open all the goddamn time. All the time. So, and you see all kinds of fun stuff in his offenses, guys. You got players who were running backs who were used as wide receivers. You have tight ends being used as outside wide receivers. You have all these things being done on a regular basis. He doesn't do a vanilla, boring offense. Doesn't do it. This is going to be a fun offense to watch, I think. And maybe I'm just being too optimistic because I want to be. I'll admit that freely. Like, I want to be optimistic.
No, the more and more, like, from yesterday morning with the hire come through, I've gotten very excited just to see, like, this offense is going to be a completely different offense of what we've seen. Yep. And always just I didn't even know when the last time we had an excited offense, 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a different style offense, too, because you're talking about it's not like the Eli days where the last time our offense was actually pretty good.
Oh.
They're going to, Dark can throw it deep, but he's not trustworthy to throw it deep quite yet. So, like, that short passes to your tight end.
It's not trustworthy to throw it deep. I don't worry about the interceptions. I just worry about the accuracy.
I think he's proven the point with it. I just think sometimes like he'll try to thread that needle a little too tightly, and I guess that's where it actually comes into play. But
it's a rookie.
But it's okay. Like it's okay. Listen, we all love Eli, who threw 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions a game. as long as he wins his games.
So let's go over what Matt Nagy has done. Now, I'm going to say this. We're going to go ahead and ignore the Philadelphia Eagles time he had with there. He wasn't very high up. He's an offensive assistant, that kind of stuff. They're nothing too high. So we'll start with him with the Chiefs when he goes over to the Chiefs with Andy Reid. So 2013 to 2015, he is the quarterback coach. When he does that, the team is 35-17. You have Alex Smith as his quarterback. Alex Smith has some good years with him. Not great, but let's be honest. Alex Smith is a good quarterback, not a great quarterback.
Yeah, he was one of those system quarterbacks that he just wasn't flashy. He just kind of
he was like above average, but not elite. Above average, but not elite. That's what he was.
And he wasn't flashy. He wasn't going to run you. He was a systematic pocket quarterback.
Yeah.
If that pocket collapsed, you knew he wasn't going to have it. He was, at best, didn't get attention grounds.
I mean, I would say, I would dare to say another as a former 49ers coach, quarterback for him, a current 49ers quarterback is probably not a bad, analogy there. Like, I feel like he is very much like a Brock Purdy kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like, not a great quarterback, but above average.
That's fair.
So,
also,
team of those 35-17 that time frame. People forget the Chiefs weren't all of a sudden good when they got Patrick Mahomes. They were good before they got him. They just wanted to get over the hump, and they thought that better quarterback play is what they needed. So he becomes the offensive coordinator. 16-17, he's the offensive coordinator. The team goes 22-10 in those 2 years. So, it's averaging 11-5 per season. The math's not difficult there. That's pretty damn good. It's back when we still had 16 games a season. So, year by year, real quick. 2016, they averaged 24.3 points per game. 13th best in the league. Jamal Charles literally just played 3 games that season. He was literally their offense. Remember how good he was? That guy was doing like 6-7 yards a carry. It was insanity. Like, he was just such a freaking good running back.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, a rookie. There is no number 1 receiver on the roster at this point. Hill hadn't developed into who he is. He will next year. We'll get into that. Travis Kelce has his first season with 1,000 yards. Again, he's 27 at this point. So this is not a guy that just came on the scene off the bat and became a maniac here. He got developed into one. Alex Smith, Pro Bowl season. And this is not a Shedeur Sanders Pro Bowl season. We're talking like actual Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
this is when Pro Bowl still somewhat mattered. Not like it is now. Fair. It's a joke. You have freaking Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders on there. So 2017 changed things up, and Kareem Hunt comes on the scene, 1,300 rushing yards. Tyreek Hill has his first 1,000-yard season. Kelce has his second 1,000-yard season. Alex Smith, Pro Bowler again. 25.9 points per game, guys. 6th best in the NFL. Think about the transition that happened under his 2 years. Kelce develops into a freaking one of the all-time great tight ends. Tyreek Hill develops into one of the best receivers of his generation. All in 2 years. While Alex Smith is getting back-to-back Pro Bowlers. And you transitioned from one guy who was one of the best running backs in the history of that team to all of a sudden another one who just jumps on the scene of nowhere and does 1,300 yards. Like, that's not common. So, obviously, a very successful run for Matt Nagy. Now, he gets the job as the Bears head coach. 2018, this is his first year. Now, he's calling the plays. He didn't call the plays in Kansas City. 26.3 points per game. 9th best in the NFL. An 11-5 record. like I said, Mitch Trubisky becomes a Pro Bowler. Mitch Trubisky.
Absolutely insane.
Now, this is back-to-back Pro Bowl quarterback years with Matt Nagy. Running backs, Jordan Howard. Remember him? Sure about a short career that guy had. And Tariq Cohen. Both have 1,000 total yard seasons.
It didn't. Was it Howard? Was he the Bear at that time that like broke the returns?
That was Cohen,
touchdowns?
I believe.
Okay.
I believe that was Cohen. I just didn't include that in my notes because that's a special team thing. But yeah, I believe that was Cohen. Someone can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because they actually had Cordell Patterson during this time frame too. So they had a really good special teams unit. But Allen Robinson is 754 yards receiving. He's now gone on from the Jaguars to the Bears. It's starting to come on. Nagy wins that year. AP NFL Coach of the Year. Pro Football Writers Association Coach of the Year. Not a bad start. Now you can sit there and say, okay, well, hell, Brian Dable won that first year too. Second year, offense goes. Yeah.
Ooh.
And teams 8-8 now goes down to 17.5 points per game. 17.5. That's pretty bad. That's like 2024 Giants bad. That's how bad. Trubisky's development just completely stalls. David Montgomery comes to the scene. 1,000-yard total season. Allen Robinson, 1,150 yards. Here's the first thing, and we can have the debate if you disagree on this. Trubisky was never a good quarterback. The heavy RPO option, which was newer back then, hid how bad he was for the first year.
It really did. And, I mean, one of the best head coaches of this generation is, we could say, Mike Tomlin, right? How well did Trubisky play under him?
Bad.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy thing. Is he even still in the league?
Trubisky?
I think he's the backup in Buffalo now. If I'm right.
Yeah, maybe third string.
He is. He's the backup quarterback from Buffalo. Again. So, I can't sit there and complain when you get a guy to a Pro Bowl who is now a backup because people have realized he's not a legitimate NFL starting quarterback. But anyway, all that happens, team goes 8-8. Not a good year. 2020. 23.3 points per game, 22nd in the NFL. 8-8 record again. They realized that Trubisky couldn't do it. They bring in Nick Foles, who obviously Matt Nagy knew from his time in Philadelphia. He goes ahead and brings him in to compete with Trubisky. The team starts 5-1, then goes 0-6. They squeak in a playoff berth again. David Montgomery, 1,500 total yards. Allen Robinson, 1,250 total yards. Like, they have players that are performing with this offense. Here's the problem. They don't have a quarterback, guys. We always say there's two teams in the NFL. Ones that have quarterback and ones that don't. So two types, that's it. It's the haves and have-nots. So 2021, his last year as a head coach, 18.3 points per game, 27th in the league. 6-11. Team drafts Justin Fields, brings in Andy Dalton. Now, I think we've learned what Justin Fields is, right? I think we're okay with that. We agree on that.
Especially watching him on the Jets.
Hey, listen, he fooled us with the Steelers for a little bit last year. We're like, okay, maybe he's not so bad. Maybe it was the Bears. But you've seen him now with the Jets as well, where you go, okay, great. Another bad franchise to go to as a quarterback. But I think we now understand that he's just not that good. Andy Dalton, we know what he is, especially at that point. He's already 34 years old. The Bengals already dropped him. He is what he is there. But David Montgomery, another 1,100 yard season. Darnell Mooney has a 1,000-yard season now as well with the Bears. So again, players are developing. And I don't think he's that bad of a head coach those 4 years, to be honest with you guys. He's got an above 500 record.
I was about to
He
say,
never had a good quarterback. He goes to the playoffs 2 out of 4 years. We talked about this. We talked about, again, him as a head coach candidate. I honestly think that he deserves a second shot as a head coach. I really do. I mean, I could see giving him a shot over some of the other guys that you see getting shot after shot. You know, like, was it that bad?
no, I mean, he did better than Brian Dibble. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean,
A lot better.
I just
Not saying much.
I just feel like that's, you know, where we're at there. Like, I think there's, you know, a situation where you can go, was he put in the best scenario to win there? So anyway, gets fired from the Bears. They fire him. They fire the GM. They start fresh and new. He goes back to the Chiefs. 22, he's a senior assistant and quarterbacks coach. And if so the Chiefs lead the NFL 29.2 points per game. Mahomes leads the NFL in yards, leads the NFL in touchdowns, wins MVP. I mean, granted, he's Mahomes. Let's be very clear on that part. He is Mahomes. He was developed by Andy Reid. That's who gets the credit for that. But you had him win his MVP with you as his quarterbacks coach. Not bad. I can't complain. Now, the last 3 years he's been the OC. This is where I think he gets a lot of the slack. And you can sit there and say, you know, we talk about all the time. This is one of those if the queen had balls kind of scenario. So 2023, 21.8 points a game, 15th in the league. 24, 22.6 points per game, 15th in the league again. This past year, 21.3 points per game, 17th. So basically, he's at an average offense with Patrick freaking Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like you have undisputed, I think, and if anybody disagrees, they can feel free to disagree, obviously, but undisputedly, I think he is considered the best quarterback of this generation. I mean, I know Tom Brady played a couple of years ago, but I'm putting him in different generations.
Post Brady era, yes.
But I'm saying, yeah, I'm not including Brady in that because they're different generations. Yeah. Like he's like 30, Brady's like almost 50.
Yeah, but 5 years ago, you could say
just because Brady played for 70 years.
Yeah, post Brady years, he's the best.
Yes, I mean you can really say if you were to name top 10 quarterbacks. If you were to name top 10 quarterbacks of all time, you might put Mahomes in there. The topic for another day, but I'm saying it wouldn't be crazy to do that and have that conversation. So you're going to tell me you have one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the NFL, and you have an average offense. And that looks really bad on paper. I think that's the problem people are having. Here's what they're not necessarily understanding. The Chiefs have struggled with offensive line like you would not believe, especially health issues on the offensive line. They don't have any quality receivers basically at all. And Travis Kelce is aging.
Yeah,
they don't have a steady running back that's doing 1,000 yards a clip a season.
And last year, they were just playing with injuries with their wide receivers.
Everybody, though. Everybody.
Well, I'm saying when you're saying when you're wide one, your wide two are out, and you have to go to wide three as your number one.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference. We all see it as like when Neighbors going down, and you have to put Wandell at the number one. I mean, he's supposed to be the clear Robin. And you can see like the productivity not 100% being there, but like he had a bit of a year. But you know what I'm saying, like you already see it when you drop down one when you have a higher corner on you. That drops down 2 spots.
I mean, it's obvious there. I mean, you got a 6-game suspension for Rashee Rice. You have a shoulder separated with Xavier Worthy. You know, you had Hollywood Brown? Like, that's your big guy? Jalen Royals, who was a day 3 pick and barely got used? You know, like, where are we going here? And that's why I'm saying I'm gonna say it this way. I'm not gonna give him a pass on what happened the last couple of years. Like, I don't think that's fair to do. If we're being objective, as much as we want to be optimistic about this, that's not fair to do.
No, because also, like, once again, he's going to be objective over here. Like, he has the scapegoat of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. But I wonder, how much is it him and how much is it the front office?
And
I mean, you have offensive line. We tell the receiver. Let's talk about offensive line here for a second. You have only 2 starters that played all the games last year on that 5-man offensive line, obviously. You have a rookie left tackle that you started, missed 9 games. Trey Smith, Jawan Taylor, each missed 5 games. So you have 40% of your line out for a third of the season, and another guy out for half the year. And all your receivers are out.
yeah.
I think it's kind of amazing they had an average offense. And again, a lot of that is because of Patrick Mahomes. Like, we cannot ignore that fact. That is a huge, massive, glaring fact. And that's probably the only reason why they looked even average.
Probably.
Like,
and like, you can see too, because like Mahomes a lot of times stretched a lot of those plays out, running the ball, running for his life. And it's like, without that, like, they probably would have looked like the Bears before Nagy got there.
Let's do it this way for a second. Who is the new Andy Dalton? Ironically, we talked about him earlier, but who's the new Andy Dalton? Would you say is like the epitome of being an average quarterback? Like, if you had to give that to somebody, who would you give it to?
The new one?
Yes. Is it Brock Purdy?
Well, he's only been on one team, so I'm talking like Dalton is kind of like more of a Kirk Cousins kind of journeyman, kind of going around the league.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know who you want to put as that. I'm going to put Brock Purdy there for a second, so I don't have that debate. That's a different topic for a different show. If you drop Brock Purdy in that offense, do you think they're an average offense?
No.
Banged up offensive line, missing wide receivers left and right. Travis Kelce aging. I mean, he hasn't had 1,000-yard season in 3 years, by the way, guys.
Well, actually, that's not fair whatsoever, because the Niners were beat up this year, and they still.
Yeah, but he was part of the beat up.
He was, but he also came back and was in some of those games, and the coaching
is
what kept him in things.
Okay,
so that's not a good.
CJ Stroud, we're dropping CJ Stroud in there.
Oh well, CJ Stroud is here. And it took Davis Mills to go in there and start winning 3 games in a row for them to actually get a win streak going.
I'm just trying to throw it out there, and I don't know who the new Andy Dalton is. I'm just saying. I just think that, again, he doesn't get a pass, but it's a legitimate question as far as how much is it, the front office, and how much is him. And you got to wonder, as much as him and Andy Reid get along together, great. They by all accounts, they do. Again, Andy Reid called up John Harbaugh and literally said, hire this guy. That's been reported multiple places. You got to wonder, did they have a disagreement on the offensive scheme at all?
You would have to wonder, because like Andy Reid calls the offense play, so it's like. Yeah.
And then close. You can be close to someone and disagree with what they're saying or doing in that kind of situation.
Yeah, we do it all the time.
We do. That's fine. You can do it respectfully. Yeah. There's no hard feelings that if you have a different opinion than somebody, there shouldn't be. You know, like, I just feel like he needed a break from that. He needed a new scenario. And now he has it. And he gets to go to New York. He gets to help develop one of the better young quarterbacks in the league now in Jackson Dart. He gets to help develop a young tandem of running backs, a young tight end that has all the potential in the world if he can just catch the goddamn ball. By the way, imagine if we get Isaiah Likely in him. Imagine that offense then with Scat and Tracy coming out the backfield, catching the ball nonstop, double tight end sets. You guys would be seeing Slayton.
I've been calling for that double tight end set for a year and a half now.
I'm just saying, and again, I saw the Bellinger comment before. Again, I love the idea of having Bellinger. I don't think Bellinger's going to run for the hills. Like he's going to be playing blasting Iron Maiden full blast and run for the hills.
I hope Harbaugh looks at him and says, "Hey, you were done dirty. Let me do you right."
I wouldn't.
That also sounded very bad.
So yeah, like I'm going to say this to Giants fans as well. And again, I was guilty as this when the first came out until I actually did the research and all. Here's one thing that I think we need to keep an eye on. Who was not happy when we got John Harbaugh? I think we were all ecstatic, right? Like I think that's a fair, safe statement to say. We were all ecstatic when we got John Harbaugh.
Unless you're a Ravens fan, then you're like,
I'm saying Giants fans. Screw the Ravens fans for a second. No offense to them, but we're talking Giants stuff here. So we literally get the coach that is the best coach on the market. And we're going to question his first moves. Do you want this guy or not?
And that's where I kind of was, where like at first I was like, why? Why him? Why this? And I was just thinking of, some of the Bears, because I always think of the Bears organization of, granted, this year they were good, but I think of like kind of like the Raiders. Just no matter what they do, they fall on their face.
Yep.
And that's exactly what I did. I was like, we hired John Harbaugh because we want that CEO kind of guy to run a team. And I was like, all right. So he sees something in this hire because he got full range and what to pay his staff and how it comes around. So if you want to go ahead and get whoever and spend an extra $15 million on an OC, like he had that range, like he had that power. He picked this guy for a reason.
Yeah.
So I calmed down from there, and then we started looking into this history, and this is it's something to be excited for.
We wanted different guys. Like we wanted Davis Mills or Cliff Kingsbury and all that. This wasn't the guy we had on our list. But
I mean, sometimes when you're like in a management role, like you think you need this type of player, that type of player, or personnel to come in and take over a position that you have to hire. And sometimes it's the guy that's just been working his ass off and hasn't gotten the credit that he deserves. That's going to come in and shine.
And again, you have literally the team that he was working for that wanted to hire him back. Again, let's be clear. They wanted to hire him back. And they're telling this guy, hey, John, you know me. Obviously Harbaugh and Reid have a great connection from their years together. And said, hire this guy. Trust me. That says something. So if you wanted Harbaugh, if you want change and you trust Harbaugh, give the man a chance to do it. Wasn't my top guy.
No, was he my top 3?
But it doesn't matter. We wanted Harbaugh. We wanted him to come in and put his stamp on everything. And guess what he's doing? This man's stamping away. Let him stamp.
Go for it.
Should be a t-shirt. Let him stamp. But I'm just saying, like, that's what you got to do, guys. You got to let him do his thing. And you can't complain that he's doing moves you don't like when you wanted this man. And here he is trying to make those changes. Like it or not, you're going to have to just give him the chance to do it.
He's making the tough calls. He's doing
Yeah.
Look what he's done to like just the organization that's the personnel that's been with the Giants for decades.
Yeah.
We've talked about we want to make drastic changes. We have to make those changes. Last year, like you have this kind of organization that has key injuries. Why are you keeping that? Your training coach or personnel, like John went in there and cleared house. He's doing what he thinks is best for this organization and this football team. And
I'm going to choose to trust.
He hasn't played one game, hasn't went to practice. We haven't seen anything what he can do. Like, before we jump on and say, like, what a terrible hire, let's see what he can do.
Yes.
Let him cook.
All right. So before we go ahead and go to the pay the bills here real quick, I got to laugh because you got Stevie over here saying tighten up. Like, what is the Titan fans mocking the Giants fans lately? Like, I don't understand this. You wanted the coach. We got him. And somehow Titans fans are trying to mock the Giants.
Why? Because you got Brian Dable.
We've had like multiple Titans fans try to like knock on us, and it's hilarious. Like I see it all the time now, and it's like, listen, all 10 of you need to pipe down. Like seriously, the Titans have no fans pretty much. Like Nashville barely even knows what football is. They're so obsessed with banjos and washboards and all. Like, stop. Sheesh. Anyway, let's pay those bills. So, guys, again, appreciate you guys for watching us here. If you want to go ahead and support the show, best way is going to buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs, where you can go ahead and do one-time support. It's also, of course, monthly supports as well. That I always tell people that's the way actually that takes the least amount of money from us. Also, of course, if you want to prove to everybody that you're a goofball, besides just by watching the show here, go to 2giantgoofballs/shop.fourthwall.com. You got all kinds of shirt options there. You got the Believe Again, the Let 'em Cook. You got pins. You got the Harbaugh In. You got all kinds of nice, fun shirts there. And, of course, right now, we got free shipping. All orders over $100 there. Again, the link is in the description to the video that you're watching if you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook. No, I'm sorry, not on Facebook. I gotta put it on.
Rex.
It's on YouTube. Go to YouTube. We always tell you people go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube.
It is the best one, honestly. Give the like, give the subscribe, give a thumbs up there. Let's see. How many are we even at for this video here? Let's see if we can see that here, because we need all the likes, all the thumbs up here, because it really is what pushes everything. We're at 28 thumbs up, guys. 28. So that's actually not too bad for this point there. So appreciate you guys. But feel free to keep on popping that there. But yeah, let's see here. Let's talk the rest of the Giants news here, because we still have more to go over. We got another big hire today.
But wait, there's more.
We throwing something in if we order now, Rob? Like, what do you but anyway,
another segment.
The Giants also hired Dawn Aponte as senior VP in football operations. Now, let me get this right off the bat here, because I've already seen a couple of comments in our own chat. This is not a DEI hire. This is not a let's hire a woman because of what happened with Steve Tisch. This is a legitimate candidate for two different GM jobs in the last 2 years. This is somebody who's worked high in the level in the offices with the NFL. So I don't want that kind of talk. If this was somebody who's like just graduated from college and happened to be dating Bill Belichick, we'll have that talk. We'll call it out when it's BS. This is somebody who legitimately has been in the NFL for years and put in the time. So she grew up in Staten Island, worked with Joe Shane actually in Miami for a couple years, which is interesting because this was a position that everybody said John Harbaugh wants a senior VP in football operations. So that way it's somebody else to report to him instead of Joe Shane having all this power. And it's kind of a move to kind of take some of the power away from him. Though I'll say this, they also got rid of Kevin Abrams, who had a similar position as well. So I don't know how much of that is true, but I've heard people talk about it that way. Again, with these positions, who knows what the exact power structure is at that point there. It's different for every team. She is said to be very good as far as salary cap management specifically. Again, that's what Kevin Abrams was supposed to be good at too. So it sounds like she's more like the new Kevin Abrams, basically. She interviewed to be with the Jets as their GM this year. She interviewed last year with the Chargers for their GM job as well. And what I'm wondering is, we talked about this. Joe Shane is on a short lease because teams kind of sucked with him, minus the first year. Is this a scenario where she's brought in as insurance? If Joe Shane doesn't work out, you pop him out, you pop her in.
It very well could be.
Yeah. Like, it just definitely seems like that. So, I don't know. I wonder if that's what's being set up. You know, and
yeah, kind of have to think.
It definitely seems like that's a potential. I'll say it that way. At least a potential. You know, we're not in the room, so we don't know what's going on like that. You know, again, she's been in the NFL for a long time. Like, if you remember back in the 2021 draft, that was one of the COVID drafts. She's actually one of the two people that were calling out the picks in day 3. That's how high up she was in the NFL. Like, Adele stepped down. She's one of the ones coming up announcing the picks. Here's a weird fact for you. Jennifer Gardner's character in Draft Day was actually loosely based on her. You know what that means? Everybody goes to her birthday parties.
Must.
Listen, I got to say, if I was somebody in any kind of profession that they made a movie about me and they decided to go
I'm
just saying, like, Jennifer Gardner, of all the potential people, like, I got to think that was like a wow for her. You know what I mean? Like this is who you're picking to be me.
Yeah, she was happy. Oh, me?
Yeah, like if I ever got that kind of, you know, a thing in a movie, it'd probably be like Wayne Knight from Seinfeld or something like that.
Jack Black.
I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like that's a compliment, I guess. I don't know. So since 2017, she's been the chief administrator of football operations. Prior to that was her time with the Dolphins, which, like you said, it was a couple of years, but there was a mix between her and Joe Shane. She spent a few years as the executive vice president of football administration, as well as the senior vice president of football operations. She was with the Browns, hence the whole draft day thing. 2009, 2010, the VP of football administration. She was with the NFL 06 to 08 as the VP of labor finance. Again, this is her background. She has business degree, accounting degree. Like that's her forte.
Show me the money.
She started off her NFL career with the Jets. She started off in 1994 as an accountant, then went to be a salary cap analyst and pro personnel assistant, then the manager of football administration for a couple of years, and ended up as the senior director of football administration. So again, legitimate 30-year background with the NFL.
Yep. And she's a Staten Island girl, so she's coming home.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's interesting. We'll have to see what happens. This is one of those quiet moves that I feel like a lot of people aren't necessarily talking about right now. Like, it's kind of like a little blurb. A lot of like different content creators and even news articles. I wonder if this turns into a big news if things don't go well, or if John Harbaugh and Joe Shane don't get along and bat, a little bit there.
Yeah, you have to think, like, the Giants don't play that well this year, right? So to say we get like 6 wins, 7 wins, is Shane safe? this.
I think the only way he's not safe is if him and Harbaugh, bat heads. I really do. I think that's what it's all about. Is how much can he say, yes, sir?
I mean, Chase is a smart guy, so we'll see. We'll see when it comes to draft day.
Yeah. Well, that's all
not
we
far
can do.
away.
So,
And that's when Jennifer Garner is going to come out there. No, it's going to be. That's when you're going to be able to tell that the better dynamics between these two guys.
yeah.
You got two guys that want to call the shots, and the Giants pretty much gave all the shots to Harbaugh. So,
Yeah. They said we'll see. It's going to be very, very interesting, that's for sure. We got a couple other minor coaching staff news here for you guys. Matt Robinson, who is the former Ravens outside linebacker coach, has been named the assistant defensive line coach. So new position, same head coach for him. Arizona also has requested a defensive coordinator interview with Charlie Bullen, of course, our interim DC last year to the end. Currently our outside linebackers coach. I thought that was kind of interesting, as you have a outside linebackers coach coming on the same day that's kind of breaking there. That's kind of interesting there. Here's a nice big one here for us here. You got Jeff Stoutland, who has been a long-time offensive line coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a potentially big one here. He has officially walked away from his position with the Eagles. He has been with them since 2013, guys. Like, this is, you talk about all the well-known, well-running offensive lines that the Eagles have had over the years. This guy has been their offensive line coach. So it's being reported that he's staying within a position in some way, shape, or form within the organization. Nobody knows why he stepped away, but it's going to be interesting, because that's a big part of what made this Eagles team good. And again, because I see Jay saying he's not retiring. Here's what he said. He said, "I've decided my time coaching with the Eagles has come to an end. When I arrived here in 2013, I did not know what I was signing up for. I quickly learned what the city demands, but more importantly, what it gives back. The past 13 years have been the great privilege of my coaching career. It didn't just work here. I became one of you." Stout out, sorry. So he's not retiring. And that was a very clear distinction that was given on this. And there's a lot of speculation already as far as if he would go coach somewhere else. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what prompted this. For all I know, and again, I'm not trying to hope this, obviously, but does he have a medical issue maybe? He had to step away because of that. Is somebody he know have a medical issue to step away from? That's the kind of vibe I got.
I was about to say, that's where my mind went. It was like, hey, I got to take care of something. I got to take care of someone in my family. It's been real 13, or he didn't say anything negative about the Eagles organization. Yeah. It was a hard decision to kind of have to go, but sometimes you have to leave your job because your wife might be sick.
Yeah.
And you didn't make sure she's all right. Or it could be a parental figure, either yours or your in-laws. They need help getting take care of it. And so you kind of have to put that first, because when you're in NFL and
but again, we don't know what's going on, though.
I'm saying that's kind of a situation where all right, you have to put that first.
It's just what popped in my head as I heard it, and it sounds like yours as well, where something's going on behind the scenes in his life that he might need to step away from for that reason.
Yeah,
but there's also been rumors that he doesn't like Sirianni. There's also been rumors of that, because it seems like nobody likes Sirianni. And then, of course, you got the turmoil that there was in the offense last year.
Well, what I was also going to build up to is the Eagles' offensive line has been pretty damn good for the past 10 years. And him stepping away could be really put Jalen Hurts in the spotlight.
He literally has been on the team's staff since Chip Kelly. That's how long he's been on the staff. He has coached 7 different Pro Bowlers to a total of 27 Pro Bowls.
And that's what I say, JC Kelsey over there.
Lane Johnson.
Long time over there.
Makes you wonder what's going to happen, guys. Now, I'm also going to throw it out there. If nothing is going on, which again, we hope nothing is going on, obviously, with them. We honestly hope them the best, football talk aside here. If he just wants to step away from the Eagles and there's something going on specifically within the organization that we're unaware of, I would take him in a freaking heartbeat for the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
We need an offensive line coach. And there's already people clamoring for it. I don't know what's happening in his life. Something either internally struggle within the organization or something outside of his work entirely is causing him to step away.
Yeah, something outside of his life, like outside of the job, like in his life.
Yeah,
I don't want him. Like, let's be real. Like, take care of your family. Take care of what you got to take care of. Because if your head's not in the game, I don't want you in the game.
Well, it's also there's more important things, like that's the honest truth of the matter. There just really is. Now, I'm seeing here. Let me see here. I'm trying to find out. Again, this says broke like right before we went on. I'm seeing rumors that he was frustrated over a reduced role within the organization, not being consulted in offensive schemes. So that'd be nice if that's what's going on. And it's more of that issue. But again, he has not retired, and he may barely be pursued by the teams. And if the Giants don't go ahead and at least reach out, assuming that once they're done whatever they have to do to legally reach out because contracts and all that kind of fun stuff, then they're freaking stupid.
Yeah, because not only has he been one of the better OCs in the past 10, 15 years, we're also stealing him from divisional rivalry. Just make them worse as we make ourselves better.
Here we go. So this is what you're saying. So, and this is off of ESPN. I'm looking again. This is done live because of the fact that it happened just recently before we started coming on here. They said that it's going to be a whole new scheme for the blocking with the new offensive coordinator there for the Eagles. And then last week, his agent Alan Herman, they said. This is I'm going to do this way, quote for quote from ESPN, but I'm going to say it's a quote from ESPN, just that way I give them the credit here. They said speaking with ESPN last week, Stoutland's agent Alan Herman had indicated that Stoutland was frustrated with how this season transpired, with his voice not being heard within the organization, and said there was a chance he could move on. However, Herman had emphasized Stoutland was not planning to retire from football. So, by the way, he's also a Staten Island guy.
Just saying, about 80 miles to the east.
Yeah.
You come on over.
By the way, you know where he was before the
Eagles?
He was the offensive line coach for Alabama.
Out of freaking Bama.
Well, I'm saying, like, he's like, bring it on.
Yep.
Bring it on. Like, I would open the checkbook. How much you want? You know my role in coaches. I don't care. There's no cap.
Yeah.
And Matt Nagy's probably got some Philly connections still from his years being there. So
yeah,
there's probably a little overlap. Some people that he knows that knows him and blah, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff. Though he literally Nagy left, Stoutland got there. Like, that's literally how it came down. So, but again, we'll see what happens there, guys. We'll keep you up to date on that. Let you guys know what happens from there. Now, tomorrow, of course, we have our Thursday night game. It's not Thursday game. Thursday show.
I was about to say, we have a game tomorrow?
We're
What are
playing
you
a game.
talking
We're
about,
doing
Drew?
it. It's the Rob versus the Drew.
Flag football. Let's go.
So here's what we're looking at doing. It's a little different. The Super Bowl is obviously coming up this weekend. We're going to do a Giants Super Bowl trivia live on the show.
Say what?
So if you think you know the Giants, if you think you know Giants history, pop on with us. Thursday, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live 9 p.m. going over all the trivia of the New York Giants in the Super Bowl. I want to give up any potential questions. I don't want people Googling things. Though Jay's so sweet, I can Google the answer. See, already, I knew Jay would cheat. Don't cheat. Do it honestly.
Yeah.
See what you know. See what you know.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
So it'd be like a pub trivia kind of thing. It'd be kind of fun, I thought. So, but now
Jay's the guy at the pub that's hiding his phone.
I can tell. I can tell already. So Jason, like, who was that quarterback that had a brother that also won Super Bowls? Damn it, who was he?
Payton.
You say painting or Peyton?
Payton.
Peyton
Pitcher.
Anyway.
Payton pitcher and Payton.
We will see you guys there tomorrow night. As always, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter/X, Twitch, and of course, Rob's favorite,
Drew's making frog. Woo!
my LinkedIn profile. And of course, as always, we're available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon, all the big ones there. And now also you can see the video replays on Spotify as well. So again, we'll see you guys tomorrow night for a little Giants Super Bowl pub trivia there. Appreciate you guys for joining in, for supporting the show as always. And as always, Giant fans,
Go G-Man!
Go G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please.